Alright, let's go ahead and get started. To start off, I washed my face about 20 minutes ago with Vasanti Brighten Up Cleanser. It's a microdermabrasion cleanser and it's fabulous. This is probably my favorite cleanser right now. I highly recommend it to anyone with any type of skin. My best friend uses it. She has oily skin. I have dry skin. You know, it's perfect. I have really bad skin a lot of the time. I'm very prone to breakouts. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up right now, but I have really clear skin right now, except for a little bit down here. Other than that, this cleanser has worked miracles. The only problem I have with it is that it's a little pricey. It's $34, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that pricey and it's worth it for flawless skin, honestly. Moving on to primer, I'm using the Hard Candy Ultra Light Formula Primer. It's very lightweight. It doesn't weigh heavily on your skin. You don't feel chalky like some primers do. A lot of primers make me break out so badly. I've never had that problem with this one, and it's not expensive. That's why I like it so much. It's a drugstore brand, but it's high-end quality, and I have never had a problem with it not working. My makeup lasts forever when I use this. It really creates a wonderful base for it to apply to. So, the only thing about this is you gotta shake it. You gotta shake it. You don't need that much though. You really don't. And then take it, and we're just gonna apply this all over our faces. Make sure when you do primer, you get it in the little bits, like under your nose, in the corners of your eyes. Really prime. Prime. Because those little bits, those are going to be where your makeup cakes or where it cracks. Those are going to be where you have issues. And this primer is one that I use it on my eyelids also. A lot of people use a specific shadow primer, which sometimes I do, but this particular primer I think works for everything. So now I'm just going to really work this into my face, okay? I'm not adding any more, you see? I'm just rubbing, making real sure I get it all over in all the creases of my face, okay? Even up here, go over my brows, make sure nothing's, caught in them. I'm using L'Oreal True Match Foundation, and it's an oldie but a goodie. It's one of my favorites. My shade is N1. It's the soft ivory, if you needed to know that. And I'm just going to take a little bit on the back of my hand. Come on. Oh, that's too much. See, I'm just going to take some on the back of my hand. And I'm going to take this brush, which is the Buffer brush, I believe it's called, by Tarte. It's the Amazonian Foundation Buffer brush, I think. It's really a great brush for anything that you want to use it for. I have used it for my blush. I have used it for my foundation. And that's what I end up using it for the most, is foundation, because I feel like it just gives you the most wonderful airbrushed look to your face, and I love that. And I feel like this brush just gives you kind of an incredible airbrush look, and that's what I'm going for. So, without further ado, let's get to it. I'm just going to dab a little bit very lightly because it does come up a lot on the brush. So, just dab lightly, and then on the center of your cheek, center of your other cheek, chin. And that's all I'm going to do to start off, okay? Just cheek, cheek, chin. Because it's easier if you start out with too little and then build up, than start out with too much and have a hard time getting it lower. So, this is going to go in circular motions all over the face. And this part is where it gets tricky for me, because you have to make sure that you really get a good amount all over. And now you can start to take some more when you see where you need it. I need more on my cheeks, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. But instead of buffing down this time, I'm going to be buffing up because I need to spread that out onto my forehead. And then just going to continue with those circular motions up onto my nose. And I am going to go ahead and take it over my, close my eye, take it over my eyelid. Under the nose. This part under your nose, people miss all the time. Don't forget to blend your foundation in there. In these little corners. Oh, I got hair. Hair caught in my makeup. Oh no. Alright. Crisis averted. Take a little bit more down here on my chin because I've got a pretty bad breakout right there. Okay. That's where we're going to stop. And I do have more on the back of my hand. So, I'm just going to wipe that off. I know it's sad to waste product and a lot of people don't ever want to do it, but it's so much better to waste the product than it is to have cake face. Cake face is not a cute look at all on anyone. So, it's better, truthfully, just to wipe it off. If you want to put it back in the bottle, by all means. I'm going to go in now with the e.l.f. concealer. e.l.f. concealer. And again, really well priced. Really good quality. And I'm just going to take that. I'll go under my eyes. I'm going to go right in here. From my tear duct. Over. Around the edge of my eye. And then I'm going to come down the side of my nose with it. And make a triangle. I'm going to make sure to fill it in. Fill that baby in. Alright. And then I'm going to come do the same thing. From my tear duct. I have an itch on my head, sorry. From my tear duct. Over to the edge of my eye. Down the side of my nose. And make a triangle. Fill her in. Now, a lot of people don't like to use concealer sticks on their under eyes. They use it more for what I'm about to do, which is breakouts. And I've got one going on down here and here. But I really like the thickness of the stick. And then I'm going to go in with a Real Techniques beauty sponge. Please excuse the fact that mine is very dirty. I have been using it non-stop. I actually am going to wash everything after I do this tutorial. But this has been used twice already today. So then I'm just going to go into where I just did. I'm just going to pat it. Pat, 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 pat. Just pat. And I really like this sponge over the Beauty Blender because you can really get in with this little tiny corner here, or with this little flat side. You can really get up into your eye corner and get those little hard to reach spaces. Okay. And now we are going to move on to powder. And as you can see, this is my favorite powder, and I am almost to pan. Like there is pan there. There's a lot of pan. I'm almost out. But it is, again, it's the L'Oreal True Match. Now, this is a personal preference because a lot of people use a translucent powder, I go with a powder that matches my foundation and my skin. I just think it sets the color better. It's more even and it makes it more matte. And I like the matte look. So this is definitely not what you're going to want to do if you're going for a dewy look, but I always choose the matte looks over the dewy because I feel like dewy looks make me look oily. So we're just going to dab that brush in there. And this is the Morphe MB39 brush. And I love this brush so much. It's actually meant to be a foundation brush, but for my powder, it's really, really good. And the bristles are soft, and I have washed it 3 or 4 times, and they just bounce back into place. Really unbelievably good quality. And Morphe is not overpriced. They are really good. So let's do this. I'm gonna start up here, and I'm gonna drag it up, and then I'm gonna blend it down. Circular motions. Lots of circular motions in makeup. And then I'm gonna get some more. I'm gonna do the same thing. Drag it up, and then circle down. And then I'm gonna do across my chin. I'm gonna do across the bottom of my chin because nothing is less cute than a makeup line. So just make sure you blend that out also. And then I'm gonna do my nose because that's where I feel like I always look dewy. And I'm gonna take this up here and do my forehead. I'm going to go in now with my bronzer to do some contouring. I'm using the Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer. And I'm also, here you can see it. It's just a very, can you see it? Okay, so it's just a very warm bronzy tone. I'm also going to go in with what is essentially a concealer brush, but I feel like I get a lot more control with it with bronzer, and with my bronzer I have a tendency to go overboard, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to use this so I get that precise line, and then I'll use a different brush to blend. So I'm going to go in, I'm just going to take some on here, I'm going to start at my ear, I'm going to come straight down towards my mouth, but I'm going to stop at about where my eyebrow would come down. Just about halfway, really. And then do the same thing over here. I really want the majority of the product to be on the outside of my face. So I'm just going to kind of add to that and draw it down. Because that's really what's going to be most flattering. And then I'm going to take some up along my hairline and just kind of trace the outside of my face from point to point. When I blend that, it's just kind of going to give me this warm, really alive glow. Alright, and I'm going now to get my highlighter. And this highlighter is Champagne Pop by Becca and Jaclyn Hill. Oh, you cannot see that. It comes like this, and it says Becca on it. You can't see it, but that's fine. I can show you the color, and that's what really matters. It is so beautiful. It is an absolutely beautiful color. It's peachy, it's shimmery, it looks good on every skin tone, every person. Again, I'm using a Morphe brush. This is the M437. I use it to highlight. I'm just going to go in very lightly. I mean, look how much, that was just one really light swipe, and I got that. It's so pigmented. You can see here, look at that shimmer. Okay, so I'm just going to go in. I'm going to go right above that bronze. I'm going to trace it. And do the same thing over here. Trace the bronze. You can be a little bit more sloppy with the highlight than you can with the bronzer. I'm going to put some here along my forehead, highlight that area. And then I'm going to show you this. I'm going to take my fingers along the side of the brush. I'm going to kind of press it. I'm going to put it back in, get a little more of my brush, and slide right along the tip of my nose. Alright? Because that's what I really want to highlight, is just that middle center of my nose portion. And then we are done with that. I'm actually just going to brush off this. And then I'm going to use this brush again to blend. So let me just clean that up real quick. Alright, good as new. We're going to go in, start with the cheeks, and blend. Circular motions, blending. And I'm not going up or down. I'm just going in a straight line over what I've done and blending circles. Just circles. And then remember how we put it along our hairline? Time to blend that. And you're just going to trace it. Doing some circles. When you get up to the top, remember you put some highlight there? Blend that together too. Just keep blending. And that's going to give you such a nice inner glow, like you're radiating. And now we're going to move on to blush. I'm going to go real easy on the blush because I have a rosy cheek already. It's a natural thing. So I'm going to be careful on that one, but I am going to show you guys some blushes that I love throughout these tutorials. This one is the Wet n Wild brand called Mellow Wine, and it is so pigmented. It's such a nice deep like reddish orange color. Maybe you would call this a peach, but it's like a dark peach, but it's just so pigmented. Can you see that? So pigmented. The first time that I used it, I'm not gonna lie, I went way overboard with it because I didn't know what to expect. So I'm just gonna take this brush, which is just a drugstore brush, not anything really to speak of. I'm gonna very lightly put it in there. See, look at that. And then I'm going to smile really big and put it just on the apples. Just a little bit. Alright, now that it's there, we are really going to take this brush, same one, we're going to blend in circles, back, and then we're going to drag back. Circles, back, drag. Really making sure that we are getting that blended. And now, once it's done like that, I'll do this side. You'll do windshield washer motions. And just go back and forth. Back and forth. And that's given me a really nice rosy tint. We're going to move on now to probably brows. I'm using the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Pencil in taupe. And this pencil, it's very all-inclusive. The color is really good on a lot of people. I'm not going to say everyone can use it, because if you're blonde and you use brown in your eyes, it's not going to look good. But it's a really good shade for most dark hairs. Browns, blacks, auburns. Try this out. We're just going to go in and we're going to flick it, creating little hair-like motions. We're just gonna go flick, flick, flick. Fill it in nicely. Trace the outer curve. Make sure not to fill in so much that you lose your arch, because that arch is what we're going for. And you can always clean it up a little if you need to. Like, I just overdid it a little bit, so I am going to take a little towel, and I'm just going to rub it. And then I'm going to go back in and fix it. And then on the other end of this, we got a little spoolie. I'm just going to take it and brush it. I am going to show you guys here in a second what difference it makes. There you go. So this brow's done and that one's not. Just check out that difference. So now let's go in and fill the other one. Again, we're doing little hair-like motions. You just want to recreate kind of the natural growth of your hair with your lines. You don't want it to look too fake. Again, be careful not to lose that arch. Or that tail is also one. Keep it high. And then we're going to trace that lower line also. And then we're going to take the spoolie. And we're going to brush it out. Okay. See the difference? See what filling them in can really do? Alright. So now, we're going to move on to my eyeshadow. For my eyeshadow today, I'm going to use a couple of different things. So I'm going to walk you through each one as I use it. And the first one, if I can get it. Got it? Okay. Is this palette by BH Cosmetics. This has been one of my all-time favorite palettes. It's become a staple. It's the Neutral Eyes palette. And the colors in it, now I'm going to open it. I've opened it. I'm showing you. They're just wonders. Especially for this fall time. There are a lot of browns, a lot of like deep oranges. There's a lot of cranberries. All very fall appropriate. Okay, so I'm going to take some tape. Yes, tape. I'm going to lay it on the back of my hand. I'm going to pull it up. We just do that because we don't want it to be too harsh on the face. I'm going to line that up with my waterline and the base of my eyebrow. That noise you might hear, that's my cat attacking my background, so just Ignore that. Okay. And then we're going to take another piece, back of the hand, pull it up, and really line that up with the tail of your eyebrow and your waterline. Alright, and don't worry about messing up your makeup. We can fix it. We can definitely fix it. So, what we're going to do is we're going in with our first shade. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild brush. It doesn't really have a name or number, so I can't tell you what it is, but it's kind of a fluffy blender brush. We're going to go in with that. And I wish that these BH Cosmetic palettes had names for their shadows, but they don't. So I'm just going to show you that I'm taking this one right here in the corner. Okay? And I'm just going to take a little bit of that on here. And I'll show you the color of it. Okay? It's just some light kind of skin color. I guess I would call that. It's very close to what my actual skin is. It's really just going to be used for blending the other colors into. But we're going to take it, and we are going to put it from the outer corner all over. We're just going to put it from the outer corner in, though. Move inward into your corner. And do not worry about being too sloppy. The tape will fix it. And we can clean it up in the end if we need to. Alright, do the same thing on the other eye. Outer corner in. Just sort of make sure you get it into that inner corner, because that's the hardest part to reach. And don't be afraid to go high with this one. I mean, don't take it all the way up, but don't be afraid to get a little bit above your crease with this one. Because we're going to blend everything into it nicely. Okay? Alright, after we do that, I'm going to kind of wipe that off a little. I'm going to go in with this purple. It's kind of like a cranberry deep wine purple. That's what we're going to go in with next. A little bit on that same brush. Just flick it on the outer corner. And then once you've got the most product on the outer corner, start to bring it in just in the crease. You don't want that too low, you don't want it too high. Bring it into your crease. Alright, same thing on the other side. On the outer corner. Outer corner. And bring it into your crease. Not too high, not too low. I'm going to add some to this side actually. And then you can do windshield wiper motions to kind of blend, blend, blend. You don't need to take that one too far in if you don't want to. It creates kind of a more dramatic look the further in you go, but it's not necessary. Alright, here's where we're at so far. I know it looks a lot. We're going to clean it up though. We're done with this palette, so we're going to put that one away. And then we're going to take out my next palette. I don't know if you can notice this, but I love palettes. We're going to take that out. I'm going to take this tiny little brush from e.l.f. Again, it doesn't have a name or anything. We're going to take that and I'm going to pick up this color right here. It's very shimmery. You can see it's kind of a cranberry purple. Lighter than the other one though. Right there. Alright, and we're going to put a little bit on this brush. Not much. And we're going to take that. We're going to put it just over where we have the other one and flick it in. Using this brush, we're going to keep it in the crease. And this brush is really good for control. So you want a little bit in the outer corner, but then keep it in the crease. Alright. And then this is where we're at. We're definitely going to have some cleaning up to do. And then we're going to go in with what is essentially just a little flat brush. It's smaller than your average eyeshadow brush. This is a Morphe brush. It's got this little side and this little definer side. I'm going to have to look up the name for you. It doesn't say on the brush like the others do. But we're going to take that. And then I'm going to go in with this ColourPop purple. I can't remember the name of the shade, but I will link everything down below for you. Unless it says here. Oh, it does. It says Dare. It's called a Super Shock Shadow in the color Dare. It's a very shimmery, bright purple. We're going to take that. We're really going to load our brush up with that. And then that is what we're going to put all over the lid. Really pack that on because that's your main color. And again, don't be afraid to get it on that tape because the tape is going to be a catch-all. Okay. You can see a little bit of it. So you're going to be done with that one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with what is my favorite brush that I own because I just think it is the most versatile blending brush I've ever had. It's a crown brush. It's the Crown Brush AC012 Shadow and Crease Duet. And it's just got this fluffy end right here and this pencil end right here. And I am going to go in with that and I am going to blend the heck out of this. Okay? Blend. I'm generally going to start by going from that inner corner, or from that outer corner in. Blending in that crease. I'm more worried about the crease than anywhere else. Maybe a little bit on that outer corner, but make sure you are blended together. It is going to look so choppy if you don't get in your blending. But if you get in your blending, it's going to look beautiful. And I can already tell that this eye has gone further out than this one, so we're going to have to clean that up a little. Well, just blend. Blend, blend, blend. Alright. So, we are going to take a look at this before we pull it off. And we're going to notice that there's more room between my brow and this one than there is between my brow and that one. So that's what we're going to clean up now. Go ahead and take off the tape on that side. And we will go ahead and take off the tape on this side. And there's definitely some cleanup. See, this one, my tape didn't catch it all. I definitely have a line, though. I can see where it needed to catch it, but it didn't catch it all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an alcohol pad and the small end of this brush. I'm going to really rub that alcohol on the brush. I'm really going to let that brush take in some of that alcohol. And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to wipe away where the makeup is that I don't want. Just go ahead and wipe very gently. And then bring it back to the alcohol. You can clean it up a little. Wipe gently. Remember to be super gentle, super light-handed with it, because you don't want to take off more than you mean to. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Oh, well. We're going to do the same thing here. Just brush along there. Really clean that up and make it nice and crisp. Oh, that was my battery telling me it's going to die soon. And please be careful not to get the alcohol in your eyes. But do you see how crisp that looks now? Maybe clean up right here a little, you think? But look how nice and crisp that look is now. Alright, and now we're going to pick up that same tiny brush we had earlier, but we're going to use the definer side this time, and I'm going to go back in with Dare. And we're going to take some on that little brush, and we're just going to press that really close into the edge of our waterline. Just really press that in tight to the waterline. You really don't want that to come down too far. Please excuse all the random noises in the background. That's really not what I wanted to happen, but everything just keeps going off, so I've kind of given up. Alright, just keep that in tightly. And then take the other side and blend it. Kind of smoke it out a little bit, not a lot. And then I'm even going to clean it up a little because I smoked it out too much. So I'm just going to pick up that brush that had the alcohol on it and go in a little bit. And then I'm going to take this little fluff brush again. I'm going to go over that real quick. With a really light hand. I'm sorry if my hair keeps getting in the way. I'm trying to keep it back for you. And then I'm going to clean it up again because I feel like I got out of hand again. See? It's all about cleaning it up. You can always clean it up. Do not be afraid to take some risks with it because you can always fix it. It is always fixable. Okay. So, we are done with the eyeshadow part. And it really wasn't hard. See? Getting really intense, bold looks is sometimes a little overwhelming. And people think it's hard, but it's really, really not. You just gotta take some risks and know that it's always able to be cleaned up. So, what we're going to do now is I'm going to go back to that Becca highlighter by Jaclyn Hill and we're going to highlight the brow bone. We are actually going to use that little fluffy Wet n Wild brush that I showed you earlier. We're going to take it, we're going to put it in here. Again, remember, not too much. Not too much. And we're just going to put it right along the base of the brow bone, okay? And then you can even blend it into your shadow a little if you can. Blend, blend, blend. And then do the other side. Blend that baby. And you are going to be stunningly highlighted. And that's all it takes there. Not much. Not much at all. So then let's go in with some eyeliner. It's the e.l.f. Mineral Eyeliner. It's a gel pen or gel pencil. And I'm just going to take it and I'm going to do my waterline first. Starting at the outer corner, going in. And I go all the way in. Some people don't, but I really like that sculpted look. I really like for people to see the shape of my eyes, and I think going all the way into that tear duct really does that. So go ahead and go all the way in to your inner corner and then do the other. And then we will do the top. And we're going to be pretty gentle with this. Again, we don't want this to be too much because we already did a pretty bold look. So, okay, you're just going to go in to that inner corner and pull your eye out and lightly trace your lash line. very lightly. And don't go too far out because we don't want this to be overly dramatic, because dramatic liner would cancel out the dramatic shadow. So we don't want to do that. So go ahead and go in on this side also. Inner corner to outer corner. The only thing is that you want to make sure that your lines sort of connect. So you might have to like pull down your eye once you've done that and just sort of draw in a connection. Fill it in, kind of. Alright. I think I just dropped the lid to my eyeliner on the floor. So we'll just deal with that in a couple of minutes. But then our eyes are almost done. We just have the last thing left to do, which is obviously mascara. And I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Protein. There you go. Mega Protein Shadow? Mascara. And I'm just going to go in and coat them. And the lower lash. And while you're doing it, make all kinds of weird faces, like I obviously just did. Oh look, my eyeliner cap. We are going to do the lips. And I am generally a fan of nude lips with bold eyes or bold lips with nude eyes. I feel sometimes like I can get a little clownish. So I'm using the Fergie Wet n Wild nude in Bebot Love. I don't know how you pronounce that, but it's one of my favorite nudes. I use it all the time. I'm just going to go in. And then just press those lips together. And if you feel like you need to blot, you know, just get a tissue and blot. But I think I'm okay for now. And then, I kind of want to go for a gloss lip today, but not anything too crazy. So I'm actually going to take Melted Peony, and I'm going to take that a little tiny bit on my finger. I'm not going to use the actual tube for this. I'm just going to take a little tiny bit on my finger. I'm just going to press it. Get up here. And I really feel like even though that has some color to it, it doesn't mess up the color of the other lipstick, but the gloss from the Melted really shines through. And we're done. We are done. So I hope that you enjoyed today's tutorial. I will probably be doing more. I'd love to hear requests on what kind of tutorials you'd like to see. I'm open to cool colors. I'm open to warm colors. I can do bridal styles, anything that you have in mind that you'd like to see me do, I can do for you. And with it getting into fall, I'm sure I'll be doing some more reds and some oranges and some more purples. So, hit that subscribe button and stick with me for a lot more interesting things. Have a good day!